Tucker. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before in my life. You?
Oh, Lordy, no. I ain't never seen a facade like that.
I sure would like to know how a man's supposed to get across this thing.
It sure would be nice if a fella built him a bridge across there.
Earliest settlers and even Native Americans before them, every man, woman, and child has stood in awe of the New River Gorge. But getting from one side to the other hasn't always been as easy as it is today. Opened in 1889, it was this bridge that stayed busy for nearly 90 years, allowing traffic to traverse the New River, which has now become the focal point of the area's booming tourism business. Part of the Taze River system, which covered central North America over 65 million years ago. The New River cuts a channel through central West Virginia as deep as 1,300 feet in places and averages a mile in width. Now part of the National Park system, the New River Gorge National Park was established in 1978 to preserve and protect 53 miles of the New River as a free-flowing waterway. Today's New River Gorge is a playground for outdoor enthusiasts. For whitewater rafting, the New is one of the best in the eastern United States. Dropping a total of 750 feet in a 50-mile stretch from Bluestone Dam to Golly Bridge, the New River lays claim to over 20 rapids, ranging in difficulty from Class 1 to Class 5. In fact, one of the best ways to view the New River Gorge Bridge is during a raft trip hosted by one of the 28 professional rafting companies offering trips through America's best whitewater. To take things a little easier, the New River is a great place for anglers to test their skills against smallmouth bass, walleye catfish, and record-setting muskie. There are also miles and miles of scenic trails for hiking or mountain bike riding within sight of the New River Gorge Bridge. Bird watching, wildflower walks, and photography excursions are all popular. Jutted rock faces and jagged cliffs dotting the deep New River Canyon challenge expert climbers from all over the world and offer a unique classroom for beginners. Coal and timber reserves still fuel southern West Virginia's economy, as they have since the railroad cut a path through the gorge in the late 1800s. But tourism now flourishes as well, thanks to Mother Nature's splendid landscapes and man's ability to conquer her utmost challenge. The New River Gorge Bridge springs from the sides of the New River Gorge Canyon as if part of nature's plan. Man-made, the longest steel arch bridge in the world is as marvelous to behold as nature's own handiwork. The American Bridge Division of U.S. Steel met the challenge of the New River Gorge armed with 88 million pounds of steel and 3 years of patience. The arch design and the Corten steel material were chosen for both practical and aesthetic reasons. The deep canyon called for a uniquely capable structure. The scenic gorge needed a non-obtrusive renovation. As the bridge took shape like a life-size erector set, steel was moved into position by trolleys running on 3-inch diameter cables stretched between two 330-foot towers. As thousands of steel members were fabricated in Pennsylvania and Indiana, U.S. Steel crews worked diligently to fill sections of mined-out land beneath the concrete pillars that were to support the world record arch. Since even the slightest mistake could prove disastrous, most of the bridge was actually assembled twice, once in the shop and later at the site to assure each piece fit perfectly. Delivery of the steel to the bridge site was a major undertaking. The steel was trucked 19 miles up and around narrow, curvy roads from Nollen, West Virginia, the drop-off point for the rail cars. Since the elaborate cable system was able to hoist loads of up to 100 tons, many sections of the bridge were pre-assembled to save time and money and to reduce hazards. The first steel was placed from the north approach, and altogether 9 steel vents or towers were built to bring the north and south approaches to the point from which the arch would spring. August 13th, 1975 marks the date when the first cords were placed to form the Great Arch, and roughly 8 months later, the arch was nearly completed. The first chapter of building the new River Gorge Bridge closed as the arch span miraculously met in the middle. 2 pieces bolted into one world record 1,700-foot arch. As work continued, progress seemed slow to onlookers, but the meticulous, monumental effort was dwarfed by the magnitude of the structure itself. Men appeared as mere flecks on huge piers of supporting concrete, webbed ironwork, and expanses of roadway. 3 years later, U.S. Steel's new River Gorge Bridge had jumped from an engineering blueprint page to a spectacular roadway opening up southern West Virginia and connecting I-79 to I-77. West Virginia officials then asked the all-important question, what do you do with a brand new world record bridge? Simple. Throw a party. So, in the warm, colorful fall of 1977, West Virginia officials, anxious residents, and curious tourists gathered to praise God, thank nature, and commend U.S. Steel and American Bridge for creating a breathtaking and magnificent landmark across the new River Gorge. High school bands, clowns, motorcades, and thousands of people gathered to celebrate the bridge and walk across the longest steel arch bridge in the world. Today, that ribbon-cutting ceremony and local parade has evolved into West Virginia's largest one-day festival, one of the top 100 festivals in North America, Bridge Day. For 15 years, the Fayette County Chamber of Commerce, working cooperatively with national, state, and county agencies and volunteers, has hosted the state's biggest bridge party, an event which garners international publicity for West Virginia.
At 8:21, we want to introduce you to base jumpers. They constitute a select breed of skydivers. In West Virginia, on one day each year, hundreds of otherwise normal people show up in one place to do something very abnormal, jump off the longest bridge in the world. This is the new River Gorge. The terrain and people who live here are rugged. And spanning these mountains is the longest arch in the world.
I knew that this was a real high one. You know, it's 876 feet. It looks real good.
What a view. It's just awesome to look back and see the structure of the whole bridge as you fall past it. It's just unbelievable.
What makes it unbelievable, too, is that one day a year, pedestrians are allowed on the bridge for 6 magic hours. 200,000 people come for the thrill of looking out, leaning over, and jumping over whitewater below. They are carpenters, attorneys, truck drivers, and actors. And they make over 100 jumps an hour off the bridge this year. They are called base jumpers.
If I want to turn right, pull right, turn left, pull left. Well, base is an acronym standing for building, antenna, span, and earth. Those are the 4 kinds of objects from which we jump.
28-year-old Jean Banish is a base jump promoter. Her late husband, Carl, is considered the father of base jumping. Together, they set a Guinness World Record jump in Norway in July of 1984. On the very next day, Carl died in a cliff jump.
I felt it was most appropriate that I be the one to jump after Carl died. And that was 2 days after he died, to show them that it was all right to continue.
3, 2, 1, go. When you're in sort of free fall, it's like a button gets pushed inside and all the adrenaline starts to flow.
It's like an adrenaline cocktail. Oh, it's gonna be killer. I love it. It's pure, good, clean American fun.
It's just great. It's more of a life wish than a death wish.
When you're standing up on that little ledge up there, it seems like forever. And it's just really noisy back there, but just as soon as you leave the bridge itself, it's totally quiet. And you're just in your little world by yourself, and you've got that's when you get the feeling of falling, and you can hear the wind speed pick up. And then you wait about 4 seconds and let your pilot chute go, and it opens up, and that's the best feeling in the world.
The purest high in the world is an adrenaline high. It's pure and it's natural, and it's just a feeling of ecstasy. It's your own body is producing. No drugs. It's all natural. Skydivers have a saying that only skydivers know why birds sing, and it's true.
Bridge Day is indeed in a class by itself. On the only day it's legal to walk on the world's longest steel arch bridge, it's also legal to jump off the New River Gorge Bridge, an exercise and adventure practiced by about 500 base jumpers every third Saturday in October. BASE is an acronym for Buildings, Antennas, Span, and Earth. No C for crazy. Base jumpers travel to varied sites around the world to take a flying leap and hopefully live to tell about it. Usually the base jumper is a hunted man or woman who, upon touching ground, takes flight on foot to avoid arrest. But not on Bridge Day. Jumpers legally leap one after another, in pairs or sometimes even in larger groups, to touch down on a small sandy beach of the world's second oldest river and hurry back up top to do it again. Rescue rafts and emergency personnel dot the river and shoreline to provide safe passage for the base jumpers who are permitted to land on Park Service property for the 6-hour Bridge Day. Regardless of how dangerous the stunt or whether you agree or disagree with its execution, Bridge Day organizers work diligently to assure safe landings for jumpers. If a jumper splashes down, a motorized flotilla of rafts sweep him out of the New River before his head gets wet. If a jumper lands in a tree or mistakes a rock for a soft landing spot, emergency rescue personnel are on the spot with medical assistance. Ambulances and triage staffers provide immediate professional care. Visible under the sprawling arch are expert rappellers who resemble so many spider webs. These Bridge Day trolls guard the catwalk from curiosity seekers and practice well-honed rescue skills against the backdrop of the New River Gorge. Most rappellers are professional rescue or medical personnel who use the bridge as on-the-job training, but also enjoy rappelling and rock climbing for recreation. They also use the bridge for both fun and experience. But anyone can be rescued from anywhere in the gorge on Bridge Day thanks to these often unseen rappellers. In order to offer this important group more visibility, a special demonstration called the Tyrolean Traverse was conducted for the first time on Bridge Day 1994. The traverse, connecting bridge to canyon edge, is more visible to spectators than rappelling. Using special rappelling equipment, a person can move safely from bridge catwalk to canyon in either direction. Whether in transit for rescue or just having fun, the Tyrolean Traverse offers the bird's-eye view of this spectacular gorge. Other non-rescue-oriented stunts have been allowed on Bridge Day for years. After a footwear commercial used a bridge bungee jump to extol the virtues of its product, the New River Gorge Bridge was mistaken for the capital of bungee jumping in North America. Today, the Fayette County Chamber of Commerce receives thousands of calls inquiring about bungee jumping from the New River Bridge. However, in the 15-year history of Bridge Day, only 4 bungee stunts have been allowed. In 1984, 2 bungee stuntmen paid by the BBC jumped from the bridge with an elephant balloon. In both 1992 and 1993, New Zealander Chris Allen executed sanctioned bungee jumps on Bridge Day. His first, a single-man jump, attempted but missed the record for the world's longest bungee jump. Nonetheless spectacular, Allen dangled over 100 feet above the river when the jump was completed. Television coverage of the jump aired in over 39 countries. Always wanting to be one jump ahead, Allen asked permission prior to Bridge Day 92 to do a 1993 stunt. Talk about confidence, but then the bungee system developed by the New Zealand native has never had an incident. Allen's 93 stunt involved 1,000 pounds or 400 miles of rubber and took 8 people 2 weeks to handcraft. 7 cords tied together with skinny pieces of rubber string made up what is believed to be the world's longest bungee cord. Supervising the tying were 2 of the most experienced jump masters in the world, employees of Allen's, who combined have completed over 2,000 jumps. But why was such a significant bungee cord necessary? Allen wasn't going it alone this time. Instead, he asked a few friends along for the ride of their lives. 6 members of the North American Bungee Federation Board of Directors met in a specially constructed 300-pound bungee cage, which looked like a wire cup holder for a memorable mid-air board meeting. The cage was secured to a freestanding steel contraption set on the bridge and built to offset a counterweight of 15,000 pounds. The meeting was called to order by President Allen, and the first order of business was a major rush. Surprising onlookers and organizers alike was an unscheduled base jump from the cage, adding another twist to the already awesome world record stunt. There was another bungee jump in 1992, only this one didn't involve a person. And perhaps the most widely seen bungee stunt ever, a 4,000-pound GMC truck was dropped from the bridge, creating one of the most spectacular television commercials in history.
It's extremely visual. We were looking for something that had some kind of visual dynamic, and this is sure it. It's absolutely gorgeous.
But perhaps the biggest leap of faith occurred in 1990 when base jumper Tom King married his wife Vivian Taylor and left post-nuptials with best man Andy Calistrat. King, a Memphis real estate appraiser and weekend skydiver, met Taylor, a Memphis RN, through his brother, a surgeon Vivian knew from work. On their third date, Vivian agreed to a tandem skydive with the 39-year-old bachelor, who is now her husband. Until 1989, however, Vivian had not attended the Bridge Day event King and his friends so fondly described as their annual skydiving convention. "We fell in love at the bridge," is how Vivian explains their decision to wed there. Locally, the couple became overnight media stars, garnering the front page of all the local papers, the lead story on the local television news, and international press coverage as well. The wedding was as traditional as a wedding can be. Gowns and tuxedos, bouquets and boutonnieres, bridesmaids and groomsmen, a minister and a flower girl, even a limo ride to the bridge. But after the traditional kiss of the newlyweds, King took jumping into marriage literally and leapt over the world's longest steel arch bridge, hosting its first ever wedding. But if the adventure of Bridge Day stunts and jumps doesn't appeal to you, then the tasty morsels of sugared funnel cakes, handmade ice cream, juicy candied apples, warm roasted honey, hot cider, and beefy barbecues are certain to entice you to eat your way across the New River Gorge Bridge on Bridge Day. And Mall of the Americas hasn't got anything on Bridge Day. A mile-long collection of Appalachian crafts, church bazaars, photographs, souvenirs, T-shirts, jewelry, and sportswear awaits visitors who shop till they drop. And don't forget your plastic. But if you see it, buy it now, because it'll be another year before Bridge Day, like Camelot, rises out of the fall fog into a spectacular festival of fun, then disappears back into the camcorders as if but a memory. The sounds of 6 hours of non-stop activity, the sights of vibrant fall foliage, and the smells of enticing treats give way to the thousands of motorists. Many of those driving by have read about the bridge or have seen it featured in a commercial or on a Bridge Day news story. 500,000 people annually stop at the National Park Service Canyon Rim Visitor Center to view the bridge. This $6 million facility allows viewing from a glass front overlooking the Gorge, river, and bridge, or from a 300-step wooden boardwalk which meanders down into the gorge to give visitors an ideal view of the spectacular man-made and nature-made wonders. How do local people feel about Bridge Day? Opinion runs the full gamut. Depending upon your perspective, you either love it or leave it before it happens. But Bridge Day puts West Virginia on the map with its festive spirit, home-cooked atmosphere, and incredible scenery. And Bridge Day adds its share of thrills to the local economy as well, with over $1 million in revenues just from the 800 participants. That's not counting gas, food, lodging, and souvenirs for an estimated crowd of over 100,000 that yearly attend this spectacular one-day event. But how can one of America's top 100 festivals best be summed up?
It feels so good to get on the ground.